This was way harder than I thought. This was easily the hardest top 10 I've ever done. And it's because there's so many really good ill cams. And by far, way better than any other team cams there ever was on MW2, which is why I'm doing just the ill cams on their own. And it was so hard to differentiate each and every one of them, but I tried my best to be as objective as possible, differentiate them by song and edit, clips, and how iconic each one was. So going off of that, I present to you the top 10 best ill cams of all time. At number 10, we have Illcams number 46. This is the second installment of BO2 from FaZe, and it is the last as well, but the reason why I chose this one over the other one is because I feel like BO2 trick shots, at the time of the first one coming out, no one really understood how to trick shot in that game, and people were still trying to, bring MW2 style trick shots onto BO2, when we now know nowadays that's not what it was supposed to be. BO2 is its own style, and FaZe really figured it out by the time of this camp's coming out, and they recruited new people who were really up to standards, so they looked a lot better. FaZe was back on top, they looked amazing, and just the song is so good, edit so good, and that opener is so iconic. And this is when BO2 really started popping off, and as much as we love MW2, BO2 is what really started to blow up FaZe, and this is easily worthy of the number 10 spot. At number 9, we have Illcams 36. Now, I'm sorry if I sounded like a snooze on the other one, and it's because everything after MW2 for Illcams were bootleg. I don't even know what they were. They were unfamiliar. They were not the same thing anymore, and that is because MW2 Illcams are perfect. They are literally perfect, and I can honestly say that the most iconic Illcams on MW2 are so close to each other. They're like inches, centimeters away from how good they are from one another. But the only way I can really differentiate them is off of how amazing I felt watching it, like how much it motivated you to want to hit clips, and how memorable were the clips, especially the opener, closer, and the music. So with this one, it's very solid. It's a very solid Illcams. The edit's good, the clips are good. The only problem is the opener, closer is not memorable at all, and it's nothing against those clips. It's just compared to the other Illcams, this is nothing. So that's why this Illcams is at number 9. At number 8, we have Illcams 40. Now, this is when openers and closers are a must, unless they're extremely iconic. They had to be on the list. But like, we have opener, phase twist, hitting a crossfire on a state. A state! I don't even think anyone even knew this was a map. Like, it's like everyone forgot this map, and then now we see someone trick shot. This is why FaZe was always one step ahead. They were always doing openers and closers at this time that would surprise everyone. That was never done before. Trick shot on state, and it wasn't even a mid clip either. It was an extremely good clip. In the closer, FaZe style 2-piece on Skid Row, like vote to skip. I thought this was a sniper map. Like, who was trick shotting on this map? But yet FaZe was doing this, and then we have an really good song, iconic edit, and it even has a throwback to the like the iconic sound effect they always have with all the clips from back in the promo days. It's just overall such a really good episode. It well deserves the 9 spot. I know the last one was a lot of people's favorites, and I totally get it. But now wait till you hear the next one, right? Wait till I pick the next Illcams, right? At number 7, we have Illcams 33. Now, after you hear this song, do you get a little what I'm saying now? Like, we know how amazing the last one is, but now putting it against this one, you're like, oh, yeah, okay, I get it. Like, this song is this Illcam is definitely way better, okay? This is way more iconic and such, and that's literally what it is. Like, this opener, iconic. The start menu welcome shot, like, how many people started going for this after they hit this? Like, it's super duper iconic. Ramos' first ever can swap, like, I just Dude, it's just like, what can you say? These are just amazing, and it's literally just like, in all honesty, you could probably switch these however you want. I'm really trying to be as objective as possible, but this one's definitely better than the last one. But man, it is so hard to compare these, to be 100% honest. But the reason why it's at the number 7, I feel like I have to explain why they're not higher instead of like why they're here now, because I feel like people can understand why it's here, but they don't understand why it's not higher. The reason why this is not higher is just simply because there's been songs way more iconic. This one, edits more iconic. This is a little too far behind, like when FaZe really started to pick up. So this is premature prime time of trickshotting, so like it wasn't as hyped, it wasn't as iconic, but man, this one hits so hard. But this is a well-deserved number 7 spot. At number 6, we have, now I'm not even gonna say it, I'm just gonna let the intro play. But just the intro, so I know some people might not like Malcolm, but like, you can't lie, back in the day this was amazing. This was so good. I can't imagine how many people were motivated to hit really good shots and doing big teams after watching this. Like opener, care package song, Corey that no one's ever seen before, hitting a cross map by Medi, final stand shot, first ever. I don't even think anyone even hit a final stand shot until way later, and it was unsettled by FaZe style. Like, extremely iconic shots, extremely crazy shots as well. The song goes hard, the edit is hard. Like, the fact that this is number 6 should tell you how amazing these Ilcams were. There's 5 of them better than this, 5 of them better than this one. Like, I know I sound super nerd, but oh man, this is easily a top 3 favorite for me. But trying to be objective, is easily a top 10 spot. It just so happened to land at number 6, but well deserved number 6. And that's it. That is, I don't know what to say. This really hyped me up to hit some trick shots. At number 5, we have Ilcams 42. Now this is by far probably one of the best edits that Ilcams ever had, and the thing is, it had such a really clean, very nice and well edited Ilcams, and it still felt like an Ilcams. Like, Ilcams has like this certain type of style of how it should be edited, but for some reason this one still felt like a genuine and same Ilcams that we see all the time, and it did not feel like something that sticks out of the bunch. It's so good, it's so clean. The opener and closer iconic, the state shot from FaZe Stamina off the ledge, just from a very clean opener. And then we have Zazen with the invasion out of all maps, invasion, wall bang ladder stall, made everyone on MW2 start playing invasion again. I hated that. Like, there was nothing to go for invasion. Zazen ruined MW2 for a month. But it just shows how much of an impact FaZe had on MW2 trickshotting, and this is definitely one of the best Ilcams there was, definitely one of the cleanest, and it's very similar to sniping style too, and it's just by far such a really good Ilcams, which is why it's at number 5. At number 4, we have Ilcams 39, and this is just a extremely good Ilcams. We have a old school classic artist like Hoodie Allen coming back to Ilcams, and then we even have him show up at the end giving a shout out to FaZe. And then we have the iconic opener closers, opener being the extremely creative, and I even put this at the top 10 best trick shots ever hit, and it's FaZe Prizzy's message shot. Like, what a huge step up from FaZe Random start menu shot to someone messaging in between a shot to welcome to FaZe. Insane. And then the closer is one of the first ever, if not the first ever, bailout suies by FaZe Medi. Like, again, FaZe is doing stuff that no one's ever seen, and not only just hitting like an average shot from one of those maps no one plays, they hit a iconic spot that became such a landmark, or like such a staple to trick shotting on MW2 on that bailout. So it's easily a super great Ilcams. The edit was super good. Overall, easily deserve this spot. At number 3, we have IllCams 1. Now, I feel like it'd be wrong if this wasn't even on the list, let alone, I feel like it'd be blasphemous if it wasn't even in the top 3, and it's because it's what started it all. We would not have any of these legendary IllCams without this one. Who knows what Trickshotting would have became if this never existed? Who would have stepped up to the plate to have inspired and create this art form of trick-shotting on Call of Duty? Who knows what trick-shotting would have been without IllCams number 1? And plus, it's iconic. Like, I'm Jesus XD, Afghan, no scope across my. I feel like almost everyone knows that first shot ever to show up. Because who even is this guy? I don't even know who this is. This could have been just some random on the other team who just picked up the controller once. Could have been the best trick shot of all time and just disappeared after that. He wasn't even in phase, so it's like, it's just iconic. Clips, Resistance, it's just, this is iconic because it's the very first one. It's impactful because it's what started it all, and it is an easy, well-deserved, no question asked, is no debate, number 3 spot. At number 2, we have IllCams 43. Now, I feel like when you think of the most iconic IllCams of all time, if you I asked you to give me the 2 most iconic IllCams of all time, this is one of them. This is the second most iconic one, right? I feel like that is generally because this is peak phase. This is right before the one that came out. This is when all the best MW2 trick shotters were in phase. There was no doubt every single best MW2 trick shotter was in phase. So this is when they were at their peak in skill and height. So it was just like crazy at this time how much like love we had for phase at this time, and they did not disappoint with these cams. Like, to hype us up for the 1 mil, the fact that this came out with the 1 mil and we're still able to come out with this IllCams, insane. And this song, we might not even like Malcolm Moore, but you cannot deny the fact that this is one of the most iconic songs FaZe has ever used. So iconic that literally this song became mainstream, like no joke, like a few months later. I remember listening to it came on the radio, I was just like shook. I was surprised, like I can't believe it. But it just tells you how iconic this IllCams is, and I feel like it's an easy number 2 spot. At number 1, we easily have the best IllCams of all time. And when I started this list, I was like, this is number 1 for sure. When I remembered the rest of the IllCams when doing this list, I was like, this is still number 1. When readjusting the rest of the IllCams, this one never moved. It was number 1 for sure. I feel like this is everyone's number 1. It's the most iconic out of all of them. It's the second most viewed, most liked IllCams there ever was, besides the IllCams 50, if that was a spoiler. At number 1, we have IllCams 38 featuring Logic. Logic literally Logic was in this video. This is easily the most iconic IllCams ever. It kind of felt like trick shotting was becoming mainstream after this. Trick shotting felt like the world knew about it. We were no longer just like some underground, just some cool people who were just doing something that no one else was doing. This is when it finally felt like we became a mainstream community, that someone like Logic, who wasn't big at this time but was still like on the come up, who was willing to like show up on one of our Call of Duty trick shots. It was like insane. The opener and closer, memorable. We got Twist, we have Zazo, and then we have the song that just hits so hard, and like, this is easily the number 1 spot. I feel like I don't even have to say much more. I feel like this is consensus, generally accepted to be the best IllCams there ever was. Let me know what you think. Would you add or subtract to this list? I know I left out a lot of IllCams that are extremely iconic, but I just felt like these were way better than the other ones. And I honestly feel like you could probably switch around 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5 and just move them to however you like, because it's very hard to differentiate these. But I feel like the 4, 3, 2, 1 are perfect. I don't think those can be switched around. I think those are the absolute top 4 fixed list. And sorry if I nerded out too. I mean, this is our childhood, you know. This is honestly what we love. This is what we're passionate about. It was such a beautiful time. So thank you guys for watching, and hope you have a nice day.